Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lech Dei Chumash podcast. We continue with Pele Yoeitz. We are on page 110 in the art scroll. We are day 48 of Hachzik. Now we're going to discuss the Brachos on food and their importance. One must tremble as he approaches to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the food or any other pleasures which one recites a bracha. How vigilant one must be to recite the brachos as they were enacted, letter by letter, word by word, Hashem, and how much more so when we utter the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. His entire body should be gripped with trembling. For it is Hashem, King of Legions, the exalted and uplifted one, that receives this bracha. And if one does not take proper care, Chas v'shalom, he has blasphemed Hashem, and we know that these matters are judged by the intentions of one's heart. And one must be vigilant by all brachos, and specifically by brachos of Birchas Hananin before eating. And certainly one must be vigilant and careful when it comes to Birchas Hamazon, which is a mitzvah d'oraisa. This is very important. The Pele Yoeitz is anticipating. He knows what's going on. He knows we think it's long, and says the Pele Yoeitz, it should not be said quickly just because it's long. Rather, it must be arranged and recited properly in accordance with halacha. And this is something that logic dictates, and a person can see to what length people go to secure the bracha of an ordinary person. Kol shekain. We're saying if a person is going to go to Chaim Kanievsky, he's going to go to Reb Dov Landau, whoever, the Gadol Adar, to your Rosh Yeshiva, to your Rebbe, to your Rav, and secure a bracha. It's the Gadol Adar after all. Imagine going to Rabbi Yashiv, or imagine going to the Chafetz Chaim. Think about it, says the Pele Yoeitz. Certainly then, Kavachomer can be made that this should be the case when he approaches the king, the terrifying and awesome one, who in his great kindness has granted us the privilege to be mevarachim, to bless him, and utter his prestigious and awesome name. Not only does Hashem allow us to utter his name, and not only does Hashem give us the opportunity to give him a bracha, but he makes it a mitzvah d'oraisa. How lucky and fortunate we are that we have this chus. We must therefore be moved to take care that we recite these brachas properly, and a practical safeguard to ensure this is that one says brachas in a loud voice rather than doing under one's breath. For saying brachas out loud inspires one to think about what he's saying. Sometimes you can have a person, he benches on Shabbos and he forgets, did he say Ritzei, did he not say Ritzei, or he say Yalav Yava and he's not sure, and he goes to the Rav. But if you say it, yes, we're talking about saying it loudly, but you say it with tremendous kavanah, and you think about the words, you're not really going to forget these things. You're not going to come to a matzav of Safek. And furthermore, you're going to be Mezaka Rabbim by letting them say Amen, which by the way, Amen stands for Kel Melech Neman, Aleph, Kel, Mem, Melech, Nun, Ne'man, where it's an affirmation after making a bracha that Hashem is the Melech, Ne'man, the truthful King. And now we're going to discuss a few other halachas of eating. One must be diligent to dip bread into salt 3 times. So on Shabbos, when you're cutting the bread and giving it out to the participants at the table, dip it in 3 times. And not forgo this custom whenever possible, for all the words of Chachamim have their place in the upper realms of the world. So we don't know why 3, but it's based on Kabbalah, and the accepted the minhag is to dip it in 3 times if possible, and al pi Kabbalah, it's a very chashuv inyan, and you shouldn't forego this. And in addition, one must be extremely careful to sit by the table in a dignified manner while he partakes in a meal, especially on Shabbos, because he has to remember that he is sitting at the king's table. There was a Rav, Rabbi Yisrael Nagar in the times of the Arizal, when he was singing by his table in a sweet voice, the Malachi Asharis would crowd around him, and it was an awesome sight. The Pele is saying it was an awesome sight. So he spoke to someone, he heard from someone that was privy to the Malachi Asharis. And this tzaddik, Rabbi Yisrael Nagar, his arms were exposed. It was so hot outside. And all of a sudden there was a heavenly, divine voice from Shemayim that said, "Get away from this man who affronts the honor of heaven. For he does not sit properly at the table that stands before Hashem." And what happened? Immediately all the angels, the Malach Eshars, flew away. And the Ari saw what was going on over here. So this Rav Yisrael Nagar lived in the same place, the same village, as the Ari, and the Ari saw from his window what was going on over here. He saw the Malachim come to the table, and he saw that they disbanded, that they left after this baskol from Shemayim, and the Arizal, the Arizal informed the Rav Yisrael Nagar what happened, and how it was a bizayin, it was a lack in kavod to the malachim, and he went back and he attired himself and sat properly with dignity, and he began to sing again. And the ministering angels, the Malach Yesharis, came back and gathered around him once again. L'chein, says the Yoeitz, Hayore es devar Hashem kuloi omer kavod. All those who fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu should always remember that everyone must act with dignity. If we're talking about at a table, not even on Shabbos necessarily, Kavachomer, when we're going to Mekomis Kedoshim, to a shul, wherever it is, to daven, certainly where there's Hashem's presence everywhere, but certainly in those places, Kavachomer, how we have to go with dignity, how we have to go with shveilus, how we have to go with the recognition that Hashem is there, and Hashem cares, the Malachim care, they're affected, and they want to see what attitude, inner and outer, are we coming to them.